Welcome back. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner, MetaZone, and Rovi, and today we're going to be talking about Elon Musk, Twitter, governance, DAO, tokens, democracy,
dictatorships, communism. No, we're not going that far.
That's too deep, dude. We go deep, but not that deep today.
Yeah.
All right. So Elon has been tweeting. Well, he just recently tweeted. When was this? December 18th. What's today's date?
That was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So 19th.
I mean,
but leading up to this, I mean, he's been going. If you haven't been keeping up, I guess.
Yeah.
Some people actually don't use Twitter, and I congratulate you on life. Shame.
Makes no sense. You're not using Twitter.
Oh, I know you're a much happier person as a result, but yeah, you're missing out on all this fun.
You're misinformed as a result.
Dude, what? You're so off, dude. What do you mean?
Dude, if you're not on Twitter, you're not keeping up with like the
indoctrination? Oh, well, that's why Elon Musk stepped in, right? Because he saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, Elon's a weird guy, weird character, right? He's done so much already with his life, right? He's
lived 100 lifetimes already.
Yeah, and like all along,
his contributions,
his like overall the ethos of Elon Musk, according to himself, and I guess his most loyal supporters, is that he's trying to navigate humanity in a direction that has like some sort of viable pathway towards non-extinction.
Yeah.
I think that's a good sum up of like his efforts of life, right?
Sure.
Like, trying to create sustainable energy funnels of solar.
Yeah.
What else has he done? Electric cars.
Yeah. Boring tunnel.
Trying to build more efficient transportation systems. Okay.
Artificial intelligence.
Because he thinks
Neuralink.
that could knock us out. So why not be better than AI?
And
somehow?
then the Neuralink is a way for AI not to completely destroy humans.
Exactly.
Right? We just link into it.
So I guess now he's identified, because back in the day, everybody would always ask him, like, what are the biggest threats of humanity? It's usually some sort of like variant of like humans doing something.
Yeah.
So I think now he's probably seeing like the social media landscape, and he identified an issue with it, right? Like there's like a force of collusion happening amongst these platforms.
And it was proven by the Twitter files.
That's right.
I think there's been 4 of them, right?
More than that. I think they're up to 6 now.
Oh, wow.
I think they just released 7 today.
Oh, my goodness.
How many are there? So that's like a whole separate video we could make.
Yeah.
Each single file.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about how this relates to cryptocurrency because that's our channel.
True.
I think there's a potential here.
Yeah. There's always some sort of tie-in, right? Because Web3 is like the next evolution, I guess, of online presence.
Yes.
So that's going to inevitably tie into kind of like everything, every little angle of today's society.
Yes.
There's a transitioning period. So we're starting to see, from our perspective, what could lead into a much more distributed governance model, I guess, for Twitter.
Yes.
So that's kind of what led us to today's discussion, right? We're starting to see Elon pump out more polls.
Yeah. Really
trying to galvanize the citizenship of Twitter.
Yeah.
To get involved and be engaged in like some really big governance matters. Like what is the future of Twitter going to look like?
And and it just so happens that cryptocurrency has a solution from a technical perspective of governance models.
Solution or like
it's a technical solution, not a actual governing solution.
Interesting. I see. Basically, you mean like there's a
mechanism.
Yeah, some sort of tool that blockchain enables.
Yes.
That can contribute to these processes. If for whatever reason you think decentralization is an important component, right?
Yeah, and so that you bring up a good point.
Yeah,
decentralization becomes an important component, and so we're gonna talk about that in just a second. But I wanted to bring up Lex Friedman's tweet here. He says, "Let me run Twitter for a bit, no salary, all in. Focus on great engineering and increasing the amount of love in the world. Just offering my help. In the unlikely case, it's useful." And then Elon chimes in. This is 21 hours ago. He says, there's one catch. You have to invest your life savings in Twitter, and it has been in the fast lane to bankruptcy since May. So since his acquisition.
Fast lane. Yeah.
Do you still want the job? He says, yes, we'll turn it around. So we were talking about how at what point does a system, a platform, a project, a company, at what point should it be completely decentralized? And you said when it gets too big, when it becomes too powerful, that's when we should take control away from that project. But the founders or whatever it is, the CEO.
Seems to make the most sense, I guess, because if this is Elon's line of thinking, which we're speculating it is, because who the hell would go through this much public ridicule, and like he's almost like sacrificed his whole identity as like a person to pursue this endeavor, because he publicly said he views Twitter as like the public domain of a town hall, right? That is like a core component to like civilized societies, right? How do you get the public to agree on things and to discuss and to move forward as a collective?
And I want to bring up a little tweet from Snoop Dogg as well.
Okay. Somehow Snoop ties into this conversation, which is super.
Let's see if I can find
left
it.
field.
So he's got 20 million followers, and he had his own poll. Should I run Twitter? I'm going to say no. And then look at that. 81% people.
You're in the mass minority.
Out of 3 million disagree with me.
Yeah. So if this were like, this is what it could. So internet is very memey, right? Like right now, this is the hot topic. People want to like meme the fuck out of this. But what if this was like an actual legitimate governance process where they knew the result of this poll was actually going to be like an actual implementation? Would the results be the same?
I don't know.
Possibly. Maybe do like a little closer. Some people will like actually do some due diligence on Snoop Dogg. It's like, all right, let's see how extensive your operational abilities are. In this day and age, in this culture, they might not give much of a fuck. It's like, you're Snoop Dogg. Go ahead, dude. Give it a shot.
And Twitter, I mean, it's largely innocuous to a certain extent, as long as no one is controlling the narrative.
Well, that's the big thing. That's why Elon felt the need, right, to kind of come in and disrupt the whole system. He's like, because there is a narrative control component to all of social media, because there's enough evidence to suggest it. But it's all been like hidden. That's why now it's becoming more public. It's clear. Like even to the point where it tampers with election results.
People have felt it too. I gave it the benefit of the doubt. I was like, I don't think there's like narrative controlling here.
You couldn't like comprehend like somehow we've devolved into this. Especially like the tech world, really? They became nefarious? How? How could that ever happen, dude?
Will's never seen a sci-fi movie.
Somehow Skynet became corruptible, dude. How does that happen? Yeah, when you have people running Skynet, that's how it happens.
Right.
It starts there, and then we evolve to a state like maybe we should just pass it over to the AI. And then they become corrupt. So then they get rid of us. That's Terminator.
I mean, we've been kind of like talking about this for a little while, and we're speculating that Elon is working on his way of completely decentralizing Twitter from a governance perspective. And the way that we're speculating that he might do that is with a token.
I think that's viable. I don't know if we're just completely biased, and we're not, because we're not saying like it's like a sure hit. Because we live in Web3. We've seen DAOs.
OpenSea is a Web3 project. No token.
It's probably
going to go on its way to IPO.
Sure.
Right? And
but we also have seen a lot of competitors emerge.
With
even
tokens, yes.
One called Blur. Actually surpassed the volume of OpenSea. So it's not like only centralized forces can
dominate.
No.
Right.
But usually when it comes to spinning off something new, I think without a doubt the centralization route makes the most sense, because there's just so many coordination issues when it comes to decentralizing things. Just too much dispute. Not enough like cohesive alignment.
And not only so, that brings up the next point. So TJ chimed into this discussion, and what was your take, TJ, on the efficacy, the effectiveness of a decentralized governing mechanism on like the decision of going forward for a particular project?
Like a business gets too big.
So what I was saying was like, don't you think this would hinder innovation? Because like if you look at Facebook right now and their investment into the metaverse, like obviously we're big believers in the metaverse, but if you put that up to the public right now, it'd be a hard no, right?
The public of the citizens of Facebook, which is basically the citizen of Earth.
So what would they do? Just stop innovating in the metaverse, and that's the end of that?
That's a good point, dude. If it was a totally decentralized ecosystem, like Zuckerberg's not even at the helm. I mean, he's part of the ecosystem, right? He'll be part of the Meta Foundation or whatever the fuck. They'll have like a stake, but obviously they don't want to have a 51% majority of Meta anymore. The people do.
Yeah.
As a collective. So yeah, dude, I guarantee you if Facebook ran that poll, it's like, do you guys want us to invest 40% of our resources annually into the, development of metaverse infrastructure? 90% no.
Yeah, agreed.
10% yes.
Agreed.
And then, I definitely think if we're moving to this kind of decentralized governance, like the first couple of them, like you're going to get Snoop Dogg running Twitter, right?
Yeah.
But once people start taking it a little more seriously, like there's definitely a learning curve to this.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think it's.
But that learning curve would never change the decision of should Facebook focus on the metaverse. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's a learning curve where people would be like, yes,
right,
click yes. Mm. So that is the ultimate issue when you have something so large as Facebook, you implement these DAO governance mechanisms, and you do stifle innovation at that point. Because if you were to ask somebody in like the 1900s, it's like, do you want a faster car? Do you want a car or a faster horse? They're going to pick a faster horse, right? Because they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know anything about technology, right?
Yeah, it's usually not like the collective that pushes forward like some sort of new innovation. It's usually at the individual like layer. It's individuals who kind of like change the world one step at a time, right? They bring people together to kind of like.
So maybe for DAO governance, we're asking the wrong questions. We shouldn't ask questions about innovation. Should we do this or should we do that? Instead,
it's like maintenance.
Yeah. Instead, it's like, hey, we're doing this, and then once it's done, then we can decide what we do with it and throttle it, and
figure out how to like equitably distribute it, and like just make sure it doesn't become corrupt.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we know one of the biggest flaws of humanity is our almost inevitable corruptibility.
Yes.
When you get to like,
certain
that
size.
sort of scale. Yeah. So like we'd have to agree as a civilization, it's like, okay, this technology stuff is great. This whole capitalism system is fantastic, but there's got to be like a threshold where we determine it's like it's too big. Kind of like where things are too big to fail. Like if they go bankrupt, like the government has to bail them out.
Yeah.
Same situation. If you're that big, then you probably shouldn't rely on like a handful of people to kind of like literally determine the outcome of that entity, because it's just that powerful.
Yeah.
So
and I feel like Elon on Twitter testing out like these governance and all this stuff. All he's doing is he's preparing us for the inevitable and probably ultimately necessary decentralization of access to AI. No single person should be able to control the algorithms of AI, because if they do, they control the narrative again, and it's more powerful than anything we've seen before.
Yeah, the narrative, literally like the whole direction, I think, of civilization. Yeah,
there was a deep fake of, was it Samuel Jackson? Or
no, the other notable figure. What's his name? Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman, yeah. So this guy was talking, and Morgan Freeman, as a CG character, was emulating what this guy was saying. And, I mean, it looked like Morgan Freeman. It looked like he was talking.
I saw it, and I agree.
And it was very...
very close.
Imagine if that was Biden or Elon or, any of these, like, big-name people.
Yeah, I know. That's already, like, in the air of... Whenever Trump released those NFT cards, immediately we were skeptical.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I thought it was fake.
Yeah, everything could be faked at this point. Those cards could have been AI generated. They actually looked like they were AI generated just because like how ridiculous they were.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, man, it's getting harder and harder and harder to trust.
And there's a point where we get exhausted. Now all of a sudden we're not even like trying. We just assume it's fake, and we don't even we don't give it a second thought. And then all of a sudden you lose out in potential thousands of dollars of gains.
That's right.
I feel attacked.
Damn it, dude.
Yeah,
you shouldn't have brought that up.
Yeah.
But anyways, just I think I feel like we're onto something, because based off what we know about the man, usually like he doesn't do things unless there's some sort of like greater angle to it that's not necessarily so obvious to the rest of us.
He's playing 5D chess, dude.
That's how you sum it up. That's that 5D chess strategy. Unless he's truly, like the public zeitgeist thinks, he's just lost his mind. He's just one of these other super uber rich guys who's just losing it, and he's just trying to self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Doubtful,
yeah.
And I think this makes the most sense. He's just kind of like trialing because he has this power. Like, he has this much money where he could literally just, I don't know, like self-prove that this is going to be, I don't know, something humanity. He's thinking at humanity scale.
Yeah.
Right? He always does that.
And this whole DAO thing has bit him in the ass already. He's changed the policies of Twitter like overnight.
Yeah.
And then he changed it back and said, sorry, next time there's policy changes, we'll put it up for a vote.
Exactly. This is where right now he's just kind of like brute forcing the ideas of like, of the population of a user base, like governing the future of it. Like he's just throwing things out there. Let's see if the people like this or not. Usually in most systems, we don't give a fuck. If you don't like it, suck my balls. You know, that's how most higher ups think, right?
Yeah.
We control this ship.
Yeah.
You guys are just riding on it.
Yeah.
You know, but he's doing things differently. He's like, here's this. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
That sucks. All right, we'll pull it back.
Yeah.
Let's put it to a vote. You're like, this is new. But this is shit we're used to in Web3, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is DAO. Yeah. This is what DAOs look like. We've never seen it applied though to something this big.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's definitely been interesting.
It's super high risk, man. Like, it could totally fail. And like,
I feel like if Elon launches a token, I feel the fate of Twitter has been sealed, and I think it's too.
Meaning, like, he knows it's going down.
Well, like once you have a token associated to your business, like, you're locked into that ecosystem. There isn't a. Here's a tweet about changing the policy and like, oh, never mind, we're going back. It's once you take that step, you can't go back. And so I feel like I don't think we have things figured out in like governance and crypto and everything in order to take that step.
Agreed. I mean, if Taoism was like such a wild success in Web3, like, dude,
no brainer.
Fucking let's do it.
Yeah.
I that's kind of why this is like just like a wild hunch. This is like no way a prediction of what's to come, because it seems too high risk for a company at this scale and like too much to lose to where it's possibly not what he's actually thinking about.
Yeah.
But maybe it will, and if he'll shock the world if this is like a catalyst moment. If we're trying to predict what's going to get us back into another crypto Web3 bull cycle,
Twitter launches a token.
Twitter token, dude. This would do it.
Yeah,
without a doubt,
for sure. You know what? I think there's a lot going for this speculation, because AI will need decentralization.
Yeah,
and governance, and the only way to do that from a technical perspective is to launch it with a token.
Yeah, as unproven and inefficient as token governance is, it's a good starting point. So now you could kind of like quantify, okay, who are your active participants in your ecosystem, right? Who's voting?
Yeah.
Who's paying attention?
See, and the biggest issue with launching a token and governance and its importance is if you have a token, some whale can just buy up all the tokens, sway every single vote, and then all of a sudden he controls AI.
That's always a problem.
And
then there's got to be mechanisms to counteract that, like internal slashing mechanisms for bad actors, which Ethereum has kind of figured out pretty well. And there's other, the graph we're evolving as in Web3 and decentralized ecosystems. There's ways to counteract all these potential.
Also, there's quadratic voting. So if you have like an exponential amount of voting power, with quadratic voting, you have significantly less voting power. So you're a little bit closer to your peers, even though you're still favorable, right?
Yeah. So, I like that too. I mean, there's it's not like something that can't be figured out, right? But we've identified it as technology is becoming too powerful. We got to figure out ways to just not allow like a one oligarch system to control the whole damn thing. We have to.
We have nuclear technology. We have nuclear fusion technology, which we'll talk about later. We got AI. I mean, what else is threatening? I mean, crypto inherently is trying to figure this out.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to, I guess you would say, banking, but that's where whole crypto kind of came from.
Yeah.
Understanding like
they're dissolving.
If you allow the bank oligarchs to kind of run our whole monetary system, at some point they become corruptible and they over leverage society to the point where when things go wrong, the whole system can come crumbling down. So we probably shouldn't do that. We should probably come up with a much more decentralized monetary system, which hence crypto in Web3.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to slowly apply this philosophy to all human endeavor.
Dude, crypto's taking over, dude.
Slowly. So, but Elon appreciating, if he agrees and he thinks like this is the mechanism to ensuring that humanity, the corruptibility of humans don't for sure lead us towards that extinction pathway.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Like us and subscribe.
Yeah.
And follow us on Twitter.
All that cool stuff.
At the Block Runner, at MetaZone.io, and at Roby AI, and we will catch you in the next video.
Peace.